Hello, my friends. Welcome back. So I've had a few requests to do another chair yoga class, which I did one a few months ago, and it had an emphasis on ankle injury, ankle sensitivity. This one by some of you who have reached out to me, this one is going to focus more specifically on having an ankle injury, especially if it was recently injured. So when my last chair yoga class, we did move around in the chair quite a bit, and we did put some weight on the ankle for some strengthening practices. We're going to let off of that a little bit today because some of you said you weren't quite there in your healing process yet. So we're going to focus a little bit more in our practice on bringing movement to the rest of the body while also doing a few mindful exercises into the legs. So you will need a chair, preferably with no arms, because we will be opening up the legs a little bit. I have mine against a wall because as you move around, your chair might tilt a little bit. It's always good to have the support of the wall behind you. We'll also be making use of a strap. You can use a yoga strap, a necktie, anything that's long because we will stretch out the legs a little bit, and also a rolled up towel for a little bit of an exercise that we'll be doing for the ankle specifically. I want to preface all of this by saying I am not a doctor. I have no medical training. So I want you to first and foremost listen to what your body is telling you. So if you start to feel pain in any of these exercises, please stop. I'm here just to try to guide you through some mindful movement practices. I'm not here to heal your ankle. That is up to you, focusing on your body and what your body is telling you. I also, on that note, I did go to a few medical university websites to look up what some ankle PT exercises would be. So we will be incorporating a couple of those into the practice. And, you know, I'm very lucky that I've never really injured myself. I've never broken a bone or sprained an ankle or anything like that. Most I've ever done is thrown out my back and recovered from childbirth, which that was enough. But I did take the liberty of wrapping up my ankle just so that I can be a little bit more mindful and emphatic in my movements, because I haven't had quite that experience. So in order to decrease my own mobility a little bit and to get me thinking, hopefully on the same page as you recovering from an ankle injury, I did wrap it up. So we will go ahead and get started. It does smell like an enchanted forest in here today. The oils in the diffuser are pine, patchouli, bergamot, and rosemary. And one more quick thing, this class does not have to be specifically for those of you with an injury or any sort of lower body affliction. If you find yourself working at a desk all day, this is just going to be a really great practice you can incorporate into your workday as well. So let's get to it. All right, friends, I invite you to join me in your chair. And you want to be able to make sure that your feet can comfortably rest on the floor. We're not putting any pressure down in through the legs. And you want to make sure your weight is kind of sinking back. So again, having the chair against the wall, having a back to your chair, just to have a little bit of support into the low back here. We're not going to be resting, leaning all the way back, but just to maybe have your tailbone or sacrum resting toward the back of that chair, just for a little bit of support. Find a nice tall spine, maybe roll the shoulders out a time or two. Go ahead and just shift your weight back and forth in the chair. What we're trying to do here is get a feel not just for how our body is feeling, but how we're using the support system beneath us. So it's a little bit different from when we're just sitting flat down on the mats. So just thinking about any subtle differences that you may be feeling, where you might have to recenter yourself. And then eventually find stillness. You can place your hands palms face down on top of your thighs. Relax your belly, relax your face, and allow the eyes to soften or close. We're going to begin connecting to the breath nice and slow. So just for a moment, take notice of your natural rhythm. We're not trying to force the inhale or exhale, but just observing. And before we really begin to control the breath here, allow your awareness to drift down through your body. And I'm sure if you are dealing with an ankle injury that you're probably feeling a lot of sensation in that side of your leg. I know I'm not dealing with an injury, but having wrapped my own ankle, I'm definitely more aware of that area because of that pressure, that support I'm feeling from the wrap. So go ahead and just let your senses observe that sensation. You may be feeling a little bit of intensity or discomfort. I'm so sorry that you might be dealing with an injury. Just try to breathe through it and then allow your attention to drift to your uninjured leg. And then back up through the rest of your body. Using your breath to clear out any stagnant energy, anywhere you might be clenching. And just imagine yourself being loose and light. And we'll begin to build upon our breath. So slowly begin to expand your inhales, really opening up through the front of the body as you take the breath in. And as much control as you can to release the exhale. Just continuing to breathe each breath just a little bit deeper than the last. I'd like you to take 2 more of these deep, controlled breaths before finding your natural rhythm again. Slowly connecting with your regular breath. You may notice some changes between your normal breathing now and from when you began this practice. You might feel a little bit fuller or calmer. Take another deep inhale. And as you exhale, slowly lower your chin to the chest. Keep your spine tall, your shoulders relaxing away from the ears. We're just hanging the head down. You can start to flutter open your eyes, slowly letting in the light. We're going to start by rolling the head from side to side. Keep your chin down, so just rolling one ear up and over a shoulder, and then back through the chest. Rolling to the other side, inhaling as you come up, and exhale as you roll back down. So this is a nice slow movement. Next time your chin is to your chest, hold here, breathe out. And with an inhale, bring your gaze back through center. Exhale. Bring your arms out to the side, turn the palms to face the ceiling. Feel the shoulders rolling down and back. Inhale, reach your arms up above your head. And exhale, hands meet and come into the heart. Open up the arms, palms to the ceiling. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Do that 3 more times. Nice slow movement, nice big breaths. Last round. Beautiful. Gently scoot yourself a little bit farther up on your chair so your tailbone is no longer resting against the back of the chair. If you're feeling a lot of pressure by stacking your knees over your ankles, I invite you just to bring the feet out maybe a half of a step so that the ankles are a little bit past the knees, and that way you're not bearing down on your injury. Take your right hand, if you can reach it underneath or grabbing your chair, or maybe for the chair leg in the front, go ahead and do so. If that seems a little bit weird to you, you can just grip the top seat of your chair. So gripping with your right hand, and I'm going to mirror you, so I'm going to use my left. On an inhale, reach your left hand out to the side and up overhead. And then exhale, bend the elbow that's gripping the chair as you reach those fingertips to the opposite side. Try to stay evenly grounded on your sit bones. Keep the shoulder of the bent arm relaxed. We're just looking for a nice big lift and extension up through the ribs here. If you feel like you want to create a little bit more space, you can reach the hand, maybe for the back leg of the chair, and maybe turn to look up at that left elbow. Just breathing. Next inhale, reach straight up. And exhale, bring that left hand down to grip the chair wherever is most comfortable for you. I'm going to start in the front, and then as I deepen the stretch, I'll move to the back leg. So on an inhale, right hand reaches up. Exhale, bend that left elbow, and beginning that side bend. Keep those sit bones evenly grounded. Take a few breaths to open up that space. And then perhaps moving the hand back. Deepening the bend, maybe looking up to the right elbow. Inhale, reaching straight up. And then exhale, right hand comes down. We're going to do a little bit of warm up into the ankles now. So I want you to go ahead and find the strap. And we're going to start with your injured foot. So come up onto your heel, toes into the air, and you don't need to deeply flex into the foot here. I want you to do this very gently. So we're wrapping the strap around the ball of the foot, and if this is causing you pain, you can skip this exercise and just focus on your uninjured leg. I'm trying not to flex deeply into the foot, but I am starting to extend my leg a little bit because we're going to be lifting the leg up into the air for a nice good stretch. Might need to scoot forward a little bit more in your chair. So keep your upper body open, shoulders relaxing down, and pressing your foot into the strap, pulling the strap in towards your body with your hands. Start to lift that leg. And again, you don't need to flex the foot too hard. The deeper you can flex, the more of a stretch you will feel. We're just gently testing the waters here. You can release your grip on the strap a little bit if you feel that your foot is flexing too much. I want you to focus on engaging the quad. So turning on those quad muscles, maybe even squeezing into that glute a little bit here. so that the support from your leg isn't coming from the foot. It's coming from the hips, it's coming from the thighs. Keep your breath steady. If it does feel okay, start to deepen the flex into the foot just a little bit, just so you can get a very faint stretch into the back of the calf here. We're not trying to force the ankle to do anything. So for those of you that feel okay in this position, take the strap in the same hand as the leg that you were stretching, and we're going to slowly, using your hip as a guide, open the leg out to the side. So normally when I do this stretch, I say guide with your hand to draw the leg over. I want you to use this leg muscle, this thigh muscle, the glute, to open out to the side. So we're starting to feel the stretch into the inner thigh here. And you can use both hands on the strap if it's going to give you support. And again, as we open up, this is going to put more pressure on your ankle. So if it doesn't feel good, just skip this part. We're going to be doing the other leg next. And then slowly come back through center, really slow movements. And then release the injured foot down. If it feels good, maybe just give it a little bit of a gentle shake from side to side. Maybe wiggle the foot if that feels okay. Gently, little movements here. And then we'll take the strap around the ball of your uninjured foot. And again, in yoga, we like to try to make sure that the knee is stacking over the ankle, but on your injured leg, if that's putting down too much pressure, just move that foot in front a little bit as we start to bring that stretch into the uninjured leg. Because you'll notice as one leg comes up, you're going to start to put pressure down on the opposite leg. So we just want to avoid too much pressure on your injured ankle. So this side, you can go ahead and play around with the flex of your foot a little bit more. Feel the stretch deepen through the entire back of the leg. But I do still want you to focus on that lift coming from the strength of your hips and your quads, and even starting to use the core for some support here. Nice tall spine, open chest. And then taking the strap in the hand of the same arm that you're stretching the leg, we're going to open out to the side. This is a slow movement. And again, I'm really using my glute and hip muscle to open up. I'm just using my hand on the strap to keep the foot in the air, not using that hand to open up. Breathing. And we're slowly going to come back through center. And then bringing that foot down. You can place the strap off to the side for now. And we're going to do a little bit of a twist. So I'm going to show you two ways to do this twist. You're going to have both feet straight on the ground. This is going to be the easy way. But if you're progressing enough in your ankle healing, we can cross one leg over the other to do this. So I'm going to start with the injured ankle crossing over the uninjured leg first. And you might be able to do this even if you can't do it with the opposite leg. So you can either have both feet on the ground or taking your injured leg, crossing it over. So take a nice deep breath. And as you exhale, you're going to twist toward the leg that is crossing over the other one. We start our twists at the waist. Maybe you can grip the chair behind you and allow your hips to move a little bit with you here as you deepen the twist into the upper spine. Breath in. Exhale, bring yourself back to center and slowly uncross the leg. So again, when we go into the opposite side, we can have both feet on the ground to come into the twist, or you can cross this leg over your injured leg. And again, that's going to be putting pressure down, so you might not be quite ready for that yet. I'm going to demonstrate with the legs crossed. So take a breath in and exhale, starting at the waist, begin twisting towards the crossed leg. Moving the twist into the upper spine as we breathe. Always twisting on the exhale. Allow the hips to move with you a little bit. One more breath in. And exhale back to center. Both feet down on the mat. Go ahead, give the legs just a little bit of a wiggle gently on your injured leg. And if it's going to feel okay for you, we are going to take a bit of a fold, and that's going to require our upper body weight coming forward. So again, maybe sending the feet out just a little bit here. If it does feel okay and you want to start to begin strengthening into the ankle, depending on where you're at in your healing process, you can start to bring the ankles underneath the knees. I'm going to go about halfway in between here. So we're going to bring our arms out to the side, just like we began this practice with, palms to the ceiling. Inhale, reach them up. And then exhale, we're going to swan dive forward over the legs, so turning the palms out, and exhale, begin folding down. Arms are still out to the sides. We're using a lot of core strength here to slowly lean down, and I can feel that pressure in my ankle here, so maybe we pause halfway. Really start to turn the belly on, pulling the navel into the spine to help keep you supported here, so you're not dropping down onto the legs, squeezing the glutes even. Take pressure off of the bottom of the leg. And then coming down gently as much as you can. Maybe you can rest your torso on the thighs and release your head and shoulders down. And if you can't, maybe we just bring the hands to the chair for a little bit of extra support, so we're not just relying on all that core strength as we do a tiny lean forward. The objective here is to keep the spine straight as long as you can, and then maybe relax into the head, neck, and shoulders. So no matter where you're at here, whether you're all the way down, halfway, or still lifted, we are going to come back to that neutral position. So again, engaging the glutes, engaging the core, and on an inhale, arms reach out to the side as we lift. Pull the navel into the spine, coming all the way up. And exhale, hands coming into the heart. And release. So we're going to open up the legs a little bit wide here. You want your heels to be pointing in, toes to be pointing out. And maybe this right here, this might be enough pressure onto your leg. So you might want to just stay in this position. But if you do feel okay, take a few breaths here, ease your way into this position, and then we can start to deepen into this practice. So we're going to start with one leg at a time, preferably your uninjured leg. We're just going to lift it up and open to the side and bring it back down. Moving to your opposite leg, lifting up and open. Try to keep those quads engaged. We're not flexing deeply into the ankle. We're not pointing the toes, bringing the foot down. Moving to the other side. Feel that low belly turn on as you start to lift and engage into those upper thigh muscles. So we're just lifting from side to side. Really listening to the body. Nice tall spine. Next, we're going to be lifting both legs at once. For a little extra support, you can grab underneath your chair or maybe to the back of the chair. Before we lift the legs, I want you to think about tucking in your navel by lengthening your tailbone here. So we're not quite flexing into the abdominals, but there is a little bit of a tuck, and that's going to really help to engage into your core to support your legs coming up. So breathing, inhale, begin to extend the legs out to the side. Again, we're not flexing deeply into the ankles here. We're lifting the legs. Once the legs come up, really engage those quads, squeeze the glutes, and then exhale, bring it back down. We're going to do that 3 more times. Take your time here. Maybe you don't lift quite as far as I am. Maybe you can. Maybe you want to hold and breathe at the top. It's totally up to you. Just listen to what your body is telling you. So engage that belly, slight tuck. Inhale, bring the legs up. Squeeze those quads. Exhale, bring it down. And up. And down. One more time. We're going to hold at the top this time and take 2 big breaths. And if you cannot do that, that's okay. Just bring the legs back down. So lifting, inhales, we come up. Squeeze the glutes, the core, the quads, breathing. And back down. Go ahead and slowly move the legs back to neutral. You're going to take your rolled up towel. We are going to be doing a little bit of a strengthening exercise. So if you've been told not to do any of those yet, you can just watch this part, or maybe you can do it with your uninjured leg. I'm not sure if it would work with one leg, but we're going to take our rolled up towel or blanket. We're going to come to stand up onto the heels here. So again, try not to flex too deeply into your injured foot. Maybe you can deepen the flex into your uninjured leg to help keep the support of the towel here. So I just have my toes lifted into the air, towels resting in the crook of my ankle. And we're just going to do some leg lifts here, nice and gentle. So lifting up and down. And the same idea here, when we lift the towel up, we want to engage that core, slight tuck into the belly, feel those glutes and hamstrings and quads turn on, and down. This little bit of extra weight is just going to help strengthen your ankle in a little bit more of a static way, so we're not like putting pressure, as much pressure down as we would with the feet on the floor. We're also bringing some strength into other parts of the legs as well. So just lifting and lowering. I'm barely letting my heels touch the floor before I bring the feet back up. And I'm not gripping too hard into my chair. I do have my hands underneath for some support, but really all of my strength here is coming from the activation of my core and into my leg muscles. We're going to hold this time if you can and breathe. Remember, we don't want to feel pain. You may feel a little bit of discomfort. Breathing through it. Nice big inhale. Send the oxygen down there. Start that healing energy process. One more big inhale. And exhale. Gently bring that towel back down. And you can place it off to the side. Scoot back in your chair just a little bit. And we are going to do some very gentle flexing into the foot now that we've built a little bit of heat down into the ankles, right? We're going to create just a tiny bit of movement. And again, listen to your body. Know what needs to be done, where you need to back off, and where you can maybe challenge yourself just to go a little bit deeper with no pain. So we're going to lift the legs up together. Maybe you keep the big toes slightly together. When the feet come up, gently point and flex. This doesn't have to be a deep movement. Point and flex. Point and flex. Core is still engaged. Bring the feet down. Widen your legs, maybe 6 inches or so. Engage the core. Start to extend those legs out. Point and flex. I'm doing this movement deeper into my unwrapped ankle, but I am doing just tiny little movements in the ankle that I have wrapped. And bring the legs back down. Go ahead and just shift and wiggle around in your upper body a little bit to release any tension that we might be building, engaging so much into our core here. We are going to be doing a little bit of a core and arm practice in a little bit, but I wanted to focus on the legs first. So widen the legs just a little bit more. Maybe there's about 1.5 feet between the feet now. You might need to take a firmer grip underneath your chair. Feel that slight tuck to the belly. The legs and hips beginning to engage as you straighten the legs out. And you can always keep a slight bend to the knees here. And again, pointing, flexing, pointing, flexing. And again, if you have your ankle wrapped, you're going to definitely feel your mobility be decreased. And that is okay. Just these tiny little movements. So we're really working into the entire body here, while sending a little bit of rehab into your injury. One more time, pointing, slight flex, and bring the feet down. Soften the body, take a few deep breaths here. Just let all of that energy sort of spread its way through. And we're going to do one more variation here where we are going to open the legs quite a bit wider. Not so wide that you're feeling strain into the inner thighs, but just wide enough so that we get a little bit more of a stretch. And again, if this isn't suiting you, you can always bring the legs closer together. So a little bit of a firmer grip on the chair. Make sure those shoulders relax, the chest stays open. Slight tuck into that belly. Feel that engagement happening. Breathe in. Breathe out. Tighten up the core. Next inhale, extend the legs. You might just want to take a breath here to activate into these thigh muscles, into the hips. And then point and flex, pointing and flexing. Slow movements here. We're not forcing anything. Breathing through. You might start shaking a little bit. I'm shaking a little bit here, really engaging into the core, feeling that tuck in the low belly. One more time, point and flex, and slowly bring the feet back down. So go ahead and come back to a neutral seated position. And we're going to start to work into the core a little bit. So I didn't tell you guys that you need a block, and you don't need a block for this practice. We are going to be doing a few sort of boat style twists, and this practice can be increased into the core by using a block or a weight if you have like a 5-pound weight, or you can use your rolled up towel. I have a block nearby, so I'm going to use one, and I'm scooting forward in my chair almost to the very edge. And again, I'm going to move my feet forward so that my knee is not sacking over the ankle. If you're feeling strong enough and want to keep the knee stacked on top of the ankle, that's going to add a bit more strengthening down there. But if you're not ready for that, a couple steps ahead. So we're going to come to a nice tall spine. Roll your shoulders down and back. So either having your hands in toward the center or gripping whatever sort of weight that you have. Again, tucking into that low belly as you start to lean back. You don't want to be leaning so far back that your shoulders are touching the chair, just enough so that you really feel this tension into the belly here. So either with hands together or hands on your weights, take an inhale, reach the arms up, keep those shoulders wide, don't let them come together. And then exhale, using the twist from the belly, we're going to bring the hands or weight to the right side. Tip it down. Inhale up, all the meanwhile leaning back. Exhale to the left. Inhale, reach up. And exhale back. Inhale, reach up. One more time to each side. Exhale to the right. Bring that your hands or the weight by your hip. Inhale up. Exhale left. Inhale up. And exhale, bring your hands or block down. And inhale, spine to center. Go ahead and relax your shoulders forward. Breathe. Place your block off to the side. So the last little exercise that we're going to be doing here is to build into some upper body strength, but first I want to create a little bit of momentum in the upper body. So while we're doing this, we're going to try not to focus too much in pressing into the feet, but I do want you to keep that engagement of your core and even into the hips going throughout, just so that you are not tempted to push down into your feet as we do this, because every time the arms come up, weight is going to shift down. So just keeping that in mind as we move through the next few stretches here. And again, we're scooting forward on the chair a little bit and walking the feet a little bit in front. We're going to bring the arms out to the side and just start with some circles. Sometimes I have you guys position the hands in different ways, but you can have them whichever way you want, up, down, behind you, to the side. I just want you to create some momentum into your shoulders. And you'll see what I mean as we start to move the arms. This rocking of the body is going to gently start to pulse pressure down into your foot. So just take it easy, keep the core engaged for that support, and then reverse the direction of your arm circles. So we just want to do this enough times so we start to feel a bit of heat into the shoulders. You might already start to be feeling that. Reverse the direction again. Keep your breath steady. I'm doing large circles, but if you want to keep them a little bit tighter, you can do that as well. One more time, reverse the direction to really start to feel it into the shoulders now. And then go ahead and bring your arms down and let all of that energy, that heat, just start to wash right down your arms. So we're going to be taking our hands to the chair behind us, and we're going to be pressing to lift. So you do not have to lift your bum all the way off the chair, because I really don't want you to push down into your feet to try to balance out the weight that you're feeling in your body. I really want this pressure to be coming from your arms. So when we come up, again, we're thinking about that slight tuck into the core, slight tuck to the tailbone. So arms are going to be behind you. Roll the shoulders down and back and start to press your hands and feel that tuck. So almost like you're doing a little bit of an abdominal crunch to lift your bum. So you're not pushing into the feet to lift the bum. You're pressing the arms down, lifting the hips up slightly, and then coming back down. So we're going to do this a few more times. So pressing, feel that slight squeeze in the belly, and then come back down. But I really want you to balance out that squeezing of the core with the strength of your arms. So don't let the entire motion come from lifting the hips, but really use those arms pressing into the chair to find that lift. And you're not going to get like huge biceps from this, right? Like this is just a gentle exercise that we're doing to activate into the shoulders and into the biceps and triceps. So this time we're going to hold, squeeze the glutes to help with this here. And again, I'm not feeling too much pressure in my feet, which is good. So if you are, I invite you to come back down. My core is engaged, my glutes are squeezing. I'm really feeling it into my arms. And then slowly lower down. Bring your arms out to the side and shake out your hands. And you can scoot back in your chair a little bit here. We're going to do a couple of more folds and then we're going to start winding down. And again, I want you to think about earlier when you were putting your weight down onto the legs, how far you went earlier. You might need to let off a little bit more. You might be able to go a little bit farther this time, or you might need to find that sweet spot in the middle. So arms out to the side, inhale, reach the arms up. This time, exhale, hands to the heart, start folding forward. So my tailbone is really rooting down in the chair. Belly is pulling in. I'm slowly shifting my weight forward. Looking down toward the feet. Nice flat back, long spine. Really engaging my belly here so I'm not just collapsing onto the legs and sending that pressure into the ankles. And then strong core. Inhale, really tuck the navel in as you come up. And exhale. Arms out. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to the heart and start shifting your weight forward. Strong belly. Keep those hips engaged, the glutes engaged. Breathing as you come down. You might take multiple breaths here. If you can, relax your upper body on your thighs. You can hold right here. Some of you might be able to just hold halfway depending on the pressure being put into your foot. Either way is fine. Maybe you're even up a little bit more. No matter where you're at, I'm going to come down halfway here. We're going to reach our hands behind, arms extending back. That is going to put more pressure into that low body if you're not properly engaging into your belly. So make sure that low belly, your navel is tucking in. Squeeze your glutes a little bit here. Reach those hands back, fingers back. And again, if this is highly uncomfortable, you can keep your hands to the heart. Maybe you grab onto the chair with your arms reaching back. There are a few variations we can do here. Strengthening up those back muscles. As we come up, we're going to swing the hands down and reach the arms up as we bring our torso to neutral. And exhale, hands to the heart. And release. So we're going to get ready to wind down to a little seated shavasana here. So this was just a very nice, gentle practice. We weren't trying to, go too far, too deep into anything, because I know some of you are dealing with a little bit more of an intense injury. So this was just to be able to bring a little bit of extra oxygen, a little bit of movement into the body to help you on your healing process. I'm sweating a little bit. Hopefully you guys got some benefit out of this practice. Like I said, I've never dealt with an ankle injury before, so I hope I was able to translate some mindful movement into your life. And we're going to end things here by scooting back in our chair. Maybe you take that blanket that we used earlier or your towel, Unroll it, open it up nice and big, and rest it over your lap. And I invite you now to lean back in your chair, but try not to slouch, right? You can lean back with a nice flat back, shoulders opening to the side. You can rest your palms out to the side, maybe palms face up in the lap. So I want you to be comfortable, but I don't want you collapsing down. That's the main thing here. So just find that nice, neutral, centered position. And we're just taking a few breaths here, not trying to force anything, just beginning to settle down into the body. I invite you to soften or close your eyes. And we're going to take 3 rounds of controlled, clearing breaths. So just as we begin our practice with, we're going to try to make each part of the inhale and exhale as controlled as we can. But this time we're going to inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. So nice and slow, big, deep breath in. Exhale through the mouth. Breathing in. And let that last long exhale guide you into releasing control of your breath. Allow yourself to surrender into your body, finding stillness, finding release. Try to let your mind just drift, not focusing for too long on any one thing. And see how much you can just give in to this part of the practice. This is the most important part of any movement practice. It's connecting with stillness and finding that release. And allow your breath to deepen again. And gently invite awareness back to your body. Maybe sitting up a little straighter in the chair as you start to move out fingers and toes. Maybe rocking through the spine a little bit. Just starting to wake everything up. On an inhale, reach your arms up overhead. And exhale, bring the hands back into the heart. Take a moment here to thank your body for everything that it is capable of, including the process of healing. Take a moment to thank yourself for listening to your body today, for making the decision to find movement and mindfulness. We'll end our practice today with a round of Om. So we'll start by taking a deep breath in. Exhale all the stale air. Big inhale for Om. Beautiful work today, my friends. I hope this practice resonated with you as you continue on your journey to healing your body. I look forward to our next practice. Namaste.